My name's Amy McDonald. This is the Foolish Optimist podcast. Today, we have another senatorial candidate. N'Kiyla Jasmine Thomas is a proud nurse, military spouse, and Chickasaw woman, a devoted mother of two, including one son with autism. She is running for the U.S. Senate in Oklahoma to fight for working families, equitable healthcare, and real support for military and special needs families. If elected, her race would be historic. She would become the first woman and person of color ever to hold the Senate seat in Oklahoma. Jasmine, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor, Amy.
I'm like so grateful and so excited for this conversation. Before we go too far, you can follow Jasmine at N'Kiyla, NkiylaforOK on all platforms. I've been told I need to do that at the beginning, so why don't we jump in? Why don't you give us the rundown? Why 2026? Why are you running?
So I get this question a lot, and this question is one of my favorites, actually, because there's a plethora of things that made me want to run. But the biggest thing was that we are in a political climate that is 100% just aggressive, and it's not for the people.
Mm-hmm.
I have always wanted to run as a legislator, whether that was state or a federal level, but I never knew how to actually get involved with it. So there was no better time than to get involved and get, my foot in the door here now after this whole fiasco with what we're dealing with day in and day out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and Oklahoma's obviously, you're a very special person, and Oklahoma's a special place, and I feel like you kind of embody a perfect mixture of everything that Oklahoma is. I know that sounds weird to say, but maybe you could give a little background on you. Obviously, you'd be the first woman and the first person of color, but you are multiracial, which again embodies Oklahoma perfectly.
Yes, so I am. My mother is Black and Native American, and my dad's white. And I do have a son with autism. He's 7. And I have a little girl who is 5. Well, she'll be 5 August 19th. So,
Happy birthday.
No, thank you. She'd be so excited. This whole month is her birthday. But yes, and I'm a active duty military spouse. My husband is actively deployed right now and has gone since March. And also being a nurse, I've seen the healthcare sector. I've seen all of the disparities that comes along with, rural healthcare, urban healthcare. I've seen what it's like to just see all the diasporans, everything. And I really feel like I kind of embody everyone because I feel like I've lived 40 lives because I've seen the ins and outs. I know what it's like to be oppressed. I know what it's like to also have some type of privilege at times because I'm how can I say this? So I'm white presenting. I'm culturally I'm Black. So culturally Black, I was raised by my mother's family, and I embody the spirit of the African American heritage, my ancestors, and everything that has to do with the essence of being Black. So I identify as Black, but I know what it's like to be oppressed and looked over because of what I look like, and also, get some type of privilege. And so therefore I feel like this is a good time for me to run because there's a lot of people that are red in the state that can't tell you what I am. They know I'm something, but they can't tell you what I am, but they can't really hate on it because of me being white presenting.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to utilize that leverage in a sense of, as a privilege, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's so interesting. Obviously, I'm a very white woman and very, very, very much Southern white woman. So I, when you said you could see that white people in your state who are vote red know that you're something, they just don't know what you are. I giggled a little bit because I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that happen. Like you can see the wheels turning and they're like, what? And obviously having Indigenous background as well, like Oklahoma is historically very important for a lot of Indigenous tribes in our country as well.
Yes, actually, my tribe had migrated here. They had to migrate west in order to, they got promised land out
Yes.
there. And obviously, we know that the federal government kind of bamboozled them and
Yeah.
really fought to get our boundaries, our rights that we were promised. And so in Oklahoma, we have what's called boundaries. A lot of people have called reservations. In different states, there are different things, but in Oklahoma, they're boundaries. So we have Kiowa, Comanche, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee. We have the 5 civilized tribes there. And we were told to be put on an act for the federal government, which is called the Dawes Act.
Yes.
That's how we were able to obtain our roll number. So we can get these federal things that were promised to us, like these federal funding. But we are still, this is one of the things that I fight for also is the tribal sovereignty, because tribal sovereignty is very important within the tribes. We are our own government.
I mean, you were here before us. You just like you'll be here after us. Let's be honest. Like it's just
But we're our own government. We have within our boundaries. So I can only really speak on the Chickasaw because I know about other tribal governments, but since I embody the Chickasaw spirit and the culture, and I really do identify as Native as well. I don't negate my whites. I don't want anyone to think that that's not what I'm doing. It's just that we know that historically whites have had a lot of privileges.
Yeah.
And this is not me playing an identity card, but we know why we speak on identity is because identity shapes policies. 100%. But in our tribal government, we have a governor, a lieutenant governor, we have secretaries, treasurers, we have everything that the United States has in their government. And we really pride ourselves in having our government because our government is, I wouldn't say it's different than the federal government because they still have to answer to it, but we have our own police. We have our own, in our boundaries. So we have our own police. We have our own systems that we go by, our Chickasaw culture in our tribe. So with that being said, tribal sovereignty is very important because we need to maintain that sovereignty because that's how we differentiated ourselves from one, other tribes, but two, from the actual federal government that's how we were allotted. I'm trying to explain this in the best way possible, but at the same time,
it makes sense.
Okay.
I know. I'm with you. I think we're on the same page. I think it's really important. And I also I'm really grateful for social media in regards to learning a lot about the Indigenous experience and the cultures and how they differ from tribe to tribe, obviously. And like with all of these different histories, I mean, they have one common thread, and that is the federal government screwing them over, frankly, which, we know about the broken treaties. I'm certain everyone listening to this podcast does, but I think one, it's really fabulous to see more Indigenous people getting involved in the government because, again, your tribes were here before us and you know the land and you know the resources and you know how to make sure that the earth is a little bit better than when we leave, than when we brought it. And hopefully with more people involved, eventually there will be more like oversight towards the environment and that kind of stuff in the hands of Native leaders.
Well, in our culture, we really do pride ourselves in taking care of nature. We are the people that really have relied on nature.
Yeah.
In our culture to kind of guide us and lead us in paths and directions, which is, there's a cool story about how the Choctaws and Chickasaws were sister tribes. We actually were all one tribe at one point in time, but because of nature, there was a pole that we put in the ground. We were all migrating from Mississippi because we all came from Mississippi. We were migrating. We put a pole with the fish, it was like a cloth fish on top, and wherever the wind blew, that fish is the direction that we needed to actually travel. And so at one point, Mother Nature was kind of playing her part where she was either messing with us or just showing us that, we can separate and be peaceful. And she started blowing every which way, the fish every which way. And so there was one part of the tribe at the time that said, hey, we need to go this way. And then there was one part of the tribe that said, no, we're going to go this way because this is where we're blowing. That's how we split up and became the Chickasaw and the Choctaws, is because we went our separate ways, part of the tribe.
Wow.
And so now we're just sister tribes, but we work very closely with the Choctaws. But nonetheless, we have such a rich history that it's really one of those things where you want to preserve it. And that's what we have been doing. We had, last time I checked, and don't fully quote me on this, we had 5 fluent Chickasaw speakers that were still alive out of the, and I can get definite answers on the number, but out of, the many that we have now, we only had 5 fluent. So my tribe wants to preserve it. So they got a contract with Rosetta Stone to send out free lessons for us to learn Chickasaw. And we do.
That's so cool.
It's incredible. Like, our tribes give back to us. But contrary to popular belief of what some people think that we get per cap, which per cap would be like a monthly
like stipend or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Monthly stipend, but that's some tribes. Our tribe gives us $350 per school year to buy new clothes. They also help put down payment on houses if we want to buy a house. They remodel our houses. They give us certain types of money, like the money that they get from the revenue services that they have, such as the casinos, the stores, or other things. They really put back into their citizens. So it's actually one of the best things that we could have had, because we're one of the poorest, lowest income. We're one of the poorest, lowest income in
demographics.
That's the word I'm looking for. Demographics within our state that they, wanted to change the narrative. They built houses for us so we can have a brand new home. And they even have homeowner programs where, they built these houses and we pay into them instead of paying into a big bank. They really pour back into us so we can thrive within our community. And so with being Native and being tribal, and also trying to preserve all of our rich history, I'm proud to be who I am, but I'm also proud to be, Black. But at the end of the day, this U.S. Senate run isn't just necessarily about the identity. It's really just about serving the Oklahomans, because I was born, bred, and raised in Oklahoma. I know everything about Oklahoma. I can tell you every state, anything about Oklahoma. And
What's the state bird?
A scissor-tailed flycatcher.
I'm sorry, I just quick quiz. Okay, carry on.
And did you know that actually, and I just found, and maybe I didn't know everything about Oklahoma at one point, because I just found out that we didn't, Oklahoma, the song, like Oklahoma, that wasn't even our state song at hers. That was adopted later on.
It's from like a play, isn't it? That was like, that makes sense.
Yes. We had a totally whole different song. And then when, it started to get popularized, the play did, that's when we adopted Oklahoma. And so Oklahoma is now our state song.
Interesting.
But, I'm a person that strives to learn something new every day. I don't know everything.
Same. Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
But that's awesome. That's like actually the type of person that I would like to be leading us. People who want to learn more, right? People who haven't decided they know everything, but like instead you're like, hey, I don't understand this. Maybe you could tell me more, and then you can formulate decisions. But I totally understand that this is, your race is not all about identity politics. I just think it's cool that pretty much you're kind of a little bit of everything that Oklahoma represents. And to me, that's like pretty rad.
It's tough to kind of make that disclaimer that it's not about identity, because you'll get, the other side that really just state, let's see how well this works. Like it worked with, Kamala, things like that. And I'm just like, she never did grift on her race. She never did. She really ran off of her experience.
Literally my entire lifetime, that woman has been in public service. 35 years. Like she is, since her 25th birthday, when she became like an ADA or whatever what her first role was, she's just kept going. And I so agree with you. You know everything about Oklahoma. So what do you think? Top of mind, what's keeping Oklahomans up at night?
Well, education is, and also the lack of fair housing, and what isn't keeping them up at night is the real question. Hold on. So we'll just kind of backtrack there. The housing for sure, because we're heavily gentrifying areas that are that was family homes that are getting bought out. We have, the fair
Like
wage.
generational homes.
Yeah, generational
Yeah.
homes are being bought out by big corporations to knock them down and then put in these multi-million-dollar homes downtown so they can, in downtown Oklahoma City, so
Right.
they can profit off of these homes, because that's
Right.
downtown
The
Oklahoma
like the
City.
land to them is more
What?
important than,
It,
and it's like who in Oklahoma City can really buy, how many people can really be buying these multi-million dollar homes? Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Except most elite, right? The people,
Right.
working in the industry, the industry, the people that are doctors, which
Yeah.
by
We
by
need them. Great.
but by no means am I saying that, doctors don't need that, because I'm a healthcare professional. I'm a nurse. So I know, you
Yeah.
know, what we deserve, and, what we don't deserve. But we deserve a
Right.
lot for working in the industry that we work in. But
But I would see, to me personally, rather than a couple multi-million dollar family homes that doctors could buy, I would rather see like a bunch of hundreds of thousands family homes that like nurses can buy, and residents, these kids coming up in the medical programs that are getting paid like nothing per year while they finish up their schooling. And it's like, where do they live? It's like, yeah.
I can definitely, I can definitely attest to that one, because when I was at nursing school, actually, luckily I was married and I'm still married, but, luckily I had 2 kids, and I had a supportive husband that was just like,
Right.
"I'll hold it down while you go to school." And the Army obviously took care of us because they give housing allowances.
Thank
So I
goodness.
was lucky in that sector, but I wasn't too lucky when I was going to a for-profit institution that took more of the money than they gave any kind of relevant
Yep.
education, or did they care about what comes after you leave that facility.
Mhm.
So, after they took $40,000 from me and wouldn't give me my transcript, wouldn't graduate me or anything like that after I finished the whole program. After I finished the whole
God.
program, that left me in a bigger bind than what I ever would have been in, because I fought them tooth and nail. I went to every accreditor. I went to their nursing accreditor. I went to their state accreditors. I went to everyone, including the Department of Education, and no one wanted to hear me out because they wanted to side with the business. They wanted to side with the business because, you want to know why? The business was giving them money. The business
Yeah.
was doing more of they were paying them, and they had their lobbyists and everything. It's really just taking the cake. And they argued with me, told me that I should be ashamed of myself ashamed of myself for mentioning that I was a military spouse, because I don't know the sacrifices that goes behind being in the military, because I don't serve myself. So, back to what I was saying, because I know I just
Let's click it. Let's click into that for a minute. Hold, please. Hold on. I have siblings in the military. I've got cousins in the military. I've watched firsthand exactly what military spouses go through. Yes, you're not holding a gun, and you're not in Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever they are being deployed to these days. You're not in Ukraine, etc. But like, military spouses keep it. They keep a tight ship, and they keep it together while someone is gone for 9, 10, 11 months. And it is, you're a better person than I am. That's like the point where I would get arrested, because I would just literally reflexively just smack them. So I would just be like, oh, sorry, couldn't control it. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Exactly. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And it took a lot out of me, especially the petty in me. It was one of those things where I was just like, you know what? Like, I could just go up there and I can just start crashing out.
Yeah.
I can use this as a testimony.
Yeah.
And although I'm a nurse now, I still didn't get my end goal. And I also was failed by a system that was supposed to be built to help me.
They help you get to this goal. Yeah. And again, this is a story a lot of Americans will probably resonate with, because these private institutions and these for-profit, not private, but for-profit institutions have done this to thousands of Americans. Like, we know a lot of them have been shut down over the course of the last 20 years, but some of them are still out there doing exactly this. And they're like taking everyone's money and not giving them what they've earned.
Yeah. And it's really sad, because last year and the year before that, I had went to a negotiated rulemaking with the Department of Education where we were actually supposed to be passing a new law, TRIO programs, also for revisions to statute that holds these institutions accountable along with their accreditors. Was even a person that even had it's the accreditor over the accreditors, and I can't think of the acronyms right now because there's so many acronyms. And they never make public statements, but I got them to make a public statement about what they're supposed to be doing because of the fact that they are supposed to be doing their job and they're not doing their job. And now that we have this administration in, I have been advocating against going to any for-profit institution at this point. Don't go to them. Don't do anything because you don't have any legal guardrails right now. You do not have anyone protecting you. There is nothing there, especially with the Department of Education being dismantled.
Crumbling. Yeah.
You don't have anything. So save yourself from that. You can wait just a little bit. Like I tell people all the time, if I just would have waited just to go to a community college, I did it because I was a military spouse. And, we don't stay in one place for very long.
No, you got to
rest. You have to dedicate yourself, 2 or 3, 4 years because nursing credits don't transfer. You just pick up and go. They don't. You have to reapply to anywhere you go.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have to start over. And so when people go to these, when they go to these schools, they know that's what happens. So therefore, they utilize your funding. They utilize your Pell Grants, anything that you get or you can get. And they say, you know what? We're going to milk this for as much as we can until we can't.
Great.
But they know sometimes that we can't provide these services to you.
Yeah.
But the implications that comes behind it. So therefore, we're going to take from you and we don't have to give you anything if we don't want to. Because who's holding us?
This is like a common thread that I feel like I'm seeing in the government right now. Nobody's being held accountable.
Oh.
It's not just for-profit higher education institutions, but and we don't. That's something we do poorly throughout U.S. history. We don't like to hold ourselves accountable for anything. I mean, truly, I've been reading up on the Civil War, and Jefferson Davis gets a pardon. What the fuck? But it's that is just a symptom of this overarching issue that we just don't hold our government officials accountable. Do you have any thoughts on accountability in government right now?
So I'm big on accountability. One thing that I had to learn about myself as I grew, and I'm 30, so I would be one of the youngest that's ever sat in this Senate seat as well. And I had to go on a life, how can I say, it's a life journey where I had to kind of reflect on my life and kind of figure out where things went wrong, what could have definitely changed, or what could I have changed, or what could I have just let go. So I kind of built a new me going into my 30s. So I did this over from 25 to 30. So I'm healed from a lot of the things that I have. I went to therapy, just like everyone had told me. I even prayed about it. I walked the line, I journaled, I did everything that I needed to do, and I'm healed from everything that I have done. And I feel like that's what's wrong with a lot of our officials, is that they are not healed from things that has either destroyed them or they haven't even got there. They have not had to heal from
They haven't even thought about it. They haven't even, and it is partially, and this is not me being ageist, it is just partially that a lot of them are of a generation that did not believe in therapy, and they don't believe that it's not even that they don't believe in accountability. They've never seen accountability.
No, because they've always had that slap on the wrist because it's always boys will be boys. It's always been
right.
It's like their mama's boys in this system. Does that make sense?
Exactly what it is.
But also, what's also to be held accountable when you have? Because let's not even just talk about the men. Let's talk about the women.
Yeah.
So, what's to be held accountable when you had parents, let's say, that were rich and you never had to want for anything, so you never had to have a hard work ethic for anything. So you know how to value anything, or you had to be good in order for you to get something. So how I see it is that the rich don't really have an incentive accountable. When they get into these systems, politically, they're making decent money. So then they're taking care of their families. So their family's not going to hold them accountable, because why would I tell the person that's making me money or making us richer Why would I tell them that they're wrong? Why would I do this? But also, a lot of them just don't know that they're wrong. Even if we tell them, it's like they don't have
Yeah.
that common sense to know, like, this is wrong because they've just been so accustomed to just being bad people their whole life. They've seen their parents be bad people.
Yeah.
It's just generational, just bad, terrible people.
I say this almost every time I record a podcast, but the role of the government to me is to protect its citizenry, right? And that can look like if they're protecting us from the industries, right? Like they're giving us workers' rights and they're standing up to industry. But it is also to hold people accountable in government, right? There's a lot of talk about insider trading. And like, I think it is going to take a generational change to get these laws passed because one of the other youngest senators ever, John Ossoff, keeps putting it forward that elected officials shouldn't be able to trade stocks. And it keeps getting shut down. And so does AOC. AOC keeps putting it out in the House. And like, but then I see just these massive news covers of like, the biggest trades ever made. They're just making so much money.
Because why? Because this is a public servant job. This is not a business. The American government is not an industry. There is not America's industries. Like, I don't know what they would name it, but this is not it. We're supposed to be serving the people.
It would be so much worse than that. That actually sounds like decent. Like America's industry. That sounds it'd be like exponentially more dumb.
Oh yeah, because the creative neurons, they don't synapse very often. They don't, and that's what I've noticed is that a lot of open-minded people are creative and they do come up with so many great ideas, and they're not going to be conservative because close, narrow-minded people that don't have a creative bone in their body that normally eat cold hot dogs with nothing on there with a mayo on top there. I'm just saying. I'm okay. I'm just saying.
That's a war crime.
Yeah, it should be, and it should be punishable by life in prison.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. I've seen it all the time. But yes, but yes, no, insider trading is one of the worst things that we should be doing. I really do think that it takes away from the point of being a public servant. And Mark Wayne Mullen, MWM, as I call him, MWM, stands for mediocre white man. He definitely does that. He's made more of a profit off of his position within the government than he has in any other sector that he.
I was looking at his money. I don't know where I need an expose. I don't have the time to do it myself, but that man, I believe, came in with like a couple $100,000 and is now like a multi-millionaire. And he has not been in office very long. And there was like a few investigations around it. And then it just kind of went away.
Well, he was originally I might have been like second or third generation plumbing company business owner with his family. So they owned what's called like Mullins Plumbing, and they have such terrible reviews. And it's not just people just going on there and just hating the actual people that actually use the company. So he was already pretty well off and wealthy, and he really didn't have a need for, like he's never had to suffer the consequences. I hear the time that he came to a college graduation and talked, and he was saying so much about nothing, about hard work, but he's never actually worked that, or even worked the plumbing line because he's just been a generational owner. But he actually came in with some money, and he even put, and I do believe it's $200,000 towards his election costs, but he was originally a state rep at one point.
Okay.
He was a rep, and I'm trying to remember if it was state or if it was.
I think it was.
I get it mixed up all the time. But he was a representative nonetheless, and he served from 2012, just over 10 years. He served for 10 years until Jim Inhofe, who was the incumbent that passed away back in 2022, took his seat for. And Mark Wayne, MWM, had told everyone that he was only going to serve one term. So a lot of the Oklahomans that really don't like him, they will use that. They'll say he's a liar because he did this, but also because he also said that he was going to serve one term. That was it. But he got that money that he took from, his own company, put that money in so he could be able to run his race. And,
you were right. It was House of Reps, not state. Sorry. Correction.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, well,
House of Reps.
No, I said state, and then we went back. So it was after the House. So both of us. That's okay. That's okay. It's so irrelevant at times, like
Yeah.
their relevance is not there. So, anywho, back to what I was saying about Mark Wayne. And I try not to talk about other women's husbands because I do not care that much. But at the same time, I still need to touch on topics that the supporters want to hear. Want to hear about the insider trading and how it's wrong. And it is. But
Yeah.
we all know this. We all know this. We can keep
Yeah.
talking about it all day. But we all know that we should not be insider trading. We should be monitoring these things.
I
And
mean, they should be held to a higher standard than the financial services industry does. And like, I live in New York City. This is a company town. Like, the company is financial services, right? Like, if any of my friends make a trade that's even remotely close to what they've been working on, they're fucking fired. They lose all they've got like Series 7 and all these like FINRA they lose all that. Everything is gone. And they're not going to work in the industry again, or at least not for like 5 to 10 years.
Exactly. I just got done sharing a video from my former job that I had gotten recognized for doing good work.
Yeah.
Signed HIPAA paperwork to release information with me and my former patient / because some of his health records was on there. And I just got a cease and desist letter from them stating that I cannot use that as a campaign thing. And I said, it's not campaign. It's showing the work that I do, the hard work. It was never about what I done for them and what I can do for him. It's more of, I don't just talk the talk. I walk the walk too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and having that experience as a nurse is, I think right now, absolutely fucking invaluable on the Hill. Like, we just need more people with professional backgrounds that are diverse, right? Like, we need medical professionals, but we also need people who have owned businesses. And like, we also need parents and we need non-parents. We just need people who have experienced the world semi-recently to be making the laws about the world that we want going forward.
Well, and I would say more mom pop businesses if we're going to talk about people whose own business, because we don't want any more CEOs.
And that's not, I'm thinking, no. No.
Clarify.
You're right.
I knew what you were saying because I know where your thought process is, whereas other people aren't.
I appreciate that.
Yes. But, with mom and pop shops, they know what it's like to have to go without for certain periods of time, a time where revenue is booming. Yeah. Community is coming together and supporting them, and then they'll go, dry at times. I just got done having conversations when I went to a meet and greet last week or the weekend before that. Went there and I was at a mom and pop little brewery.
Cute.
And they were so kind.
I love that.
They're so kind. The bluest people that you'll meet in this area, and it's a pretty red area. And they bring the whole community together, regardless if you're red or blue or white, just anything.
Love it.
And they were telling me, they were like, hey, I'm seeing all of this traction going on. Like, I mean, they have a live band there that day.
Yeah.
I wasn't even the headliner. Like, it wasn't like, just like, I was the plus one. And I was okay with that because mom and pop shop, you know what I mean? Like,
that's so nice. Yeah.
I want people to come out here and enjoy, their time here to get this family money.
Right. And they've poured their life into this. Like this, like when you open something that's like a brewery or a restaurant or any sort of full business, it is blood, sweat, and tears for years. Like it is just, and that is just, knock on wood, everyone that's starting their business this year goes faster than that. But like, I know this because I've started businesses myself. Like, it's just, you have to put the time in, and that's how shit gets done. So to like, if you're a small business owner and you are like, I can't donate any money, what you can do for elections is donate the space and hopefully bring people in that way. And then people will shop or eat or do whatever. And then they'll know who you are and what part of the community you fit into, which would be cool.
Exactly. And when I tell you that these are the most two incredible people I've ever met, and I'm not even just saying this because I'm recording, I would do it with people, because one thing about it is they made me feel like I was family there. But the mere fact that I did not make myself when I went, because I knew exactly what they were up against versus, my presence being there in a red town. That I was just like, you know what? I want everyone to enjoy what they had built. And they showed me a scrapbook of like from start to finish of and I mean, they had poured their life savings into this. So when I had came, and I don't want to put too much of their information, their business out, they talked with me and they had told me, they said, we just had someone drive from Missouri to come down and buy this truck off of us. And I was like, oh, well, congratulations. Like, you had an extra, you guys able to get, but once they said we had to do it because we had been slow, the administration is causing, people not to have the money, like the slow recession, pretty much being a recession without seeing a recession.
Yes.
That's when it hit me.
Like they had to sell the fucking truck.
We had to sell the truck.
Which is heartbreaking.
And these are not people that have flashy things. These are not people that are consistently just draped in Gucci or driving multi-million-dollar cars. Like these are just people who are just trying to provide for their family and take care of their family and also bring the community together to have somewhere to commune,
I know. I think that's what a lot of our communities are missing, are places that like actually have the capacity to have people there for like long periods of time and have the capacity to do this without everyone spending a ton of money all of the time, right? Because rent has gotten so high, like especially in New York, businesses are turning tables over every 90 minutes. Like you can't sit in a table longer than that. And that's because they literally need a certain amount of customers in the door to pay the rent. And so like when we're talking about this affordability crisis, I just hope everyone understands it doesn't just affect individuals. It's also affecting all of these small businesses and places we like to hang out.
Absolutely. That's just the whole Medicaid thing, is that, with these small businesses, they rely on that. Like they rely on their families to, one, help them out because they can't normally afford to gig out these jobs, just like W-2 these jobs. They have close friends that come in and they work with them. They work in there themselves, just like the two incredible people I just talked about. They didn't, although, they got to get from behind the bar and go out and talk every now and then. But the majority of the time they were working that bar because it's just them. And so these people, and I'm not saying the ones that I'm talking about, but the people who own these businesses that you think are just being so that they have all the money because they're so busy that night and XYZ, like these people live off of Medicaid too, because they can't afford to get a medical plan through a private insurer. Like they
probably don't have enough employees to do it. Like, cause if you're under, I've been in startups for a really long time, and there's a lot of weird workarounds because it's so much cost to the employer and the individual that it's like, it doesn't make any sense. That's the kicker about the lovely private insurance system we have now, is it doesn't make sense for anybody.
No. And the fact of the matter is that me and I have a lot of people that we sit back and we have these conversations about like how insurance, like we pay all this money, regardless if it's health, car, or like rental insurance, what kind of insurance. If we're paying so much, like for instance, I had a friend who was paying $500 a month, never been in a car wreck, had the best credit. Because of the car, that he had to pay $500 a month for his car that he worked hard for. Right. So if we're paying this much money a month, but let's go to the healthcare, portion of this, because Oklahoma just passed, they took away Sooner Care and did a Health Start thing, OHA, Oklahoma Health Association, where they basically bid out Medicaid to these private insurers, whereas Sooner Care, it was state funded. So therefore, I'm a Medicaid baby, was on Medicaid until I was 18.
Which, by the way, for everyone's reference, 50% of the children born in the United States are born on Medicaid. 50, not 1550. 50.
Yeah. And actually, about 82% of Oklahomans were actually on Medicaid.
Okay. So it's 82% of what? Like
4.4 million. You're on the right track. Like, don't quote us fully on these numbers, but these numbers are pretty, they're pretty.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Accurate. Yeah, they're right on, they're on the money, but not on the dime, if that makes sense. But yes, we have 4.4 million people, and 82% of the population's children are on Medicaid. And so when you had the Sooner Care, like, you didn't have copays.
Yeah.
You didn't have to get a prior authorization for certain medication. You didn't have to get a pre-approval to go see a doctor or a specialist or anything.
Right.
It was just automatically taken care of because it was paid for through the taxpayers' money.
Interesting.
And once they switched that out and they went into the private health insurance where they have like certain, and I think it's like Aetna, Blue Cross, and
Right.
now we have a lot of people who are complaining that they can't even get into their dermatologist like they could. They have to go back and they have to get the the pre-approval.
Yeah.
And so it's dangerous because we were getting braces on Sooner Care and not having a dime out of it. But now there's copays. There's all these things that people don't realize.
Well, you just don't even know what it costs. That's like the real thing, right? Like they tell you one thing, they give you another bill. 6 months later, another bill shows up and you're just like, how do people, we can't live this way.
Right.
If you don't know how much things cost, there's no way to budget for it. There's no way to plan for it. And
you might as well just private health insurance at that point.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. So Oklahoma's had some like whiplash in a couple of years, right? Like, cause there was a Democratic governor and now there's a Republican governor. And it feels like a lot of things have changed with that, right? Including probably Sooner Care into this.
So with Oklahoma is out, I would say that we're definitely a purple state. I'm not going to lie to you. I would say we're a purple state, but I feel like there's not enough people who actually come out and vote because we had one of the lowest turnouts. That especially for this federal one. And when I asked people on Threads, because I had gotten on Threads and I got a ton of followers overnight. And
I watched this happen in real time.
Yes.
It was so enjoyable. I literally followed you when you were like, I have 45 followers. I was like, oh, I know her. And then like the next day I was like, holy shit.
Yes. It was one, it was incredible, but two, it showed me because some of these people aren't even on my other social medias.
Right.
Some of them didn't even know about me from TikTok, but TikTok's one of my biggest platforms. 15,000 people back, right? So, but I do polls on there. So I ask people, like, what would get you to come out? And they're just like, well, we need someone who's worth voting for. If we knew who was, or when elections were, or who was running against who.
Or like where to go.
Yes, where to go, then we would be out there. And I said, okay. I will make sure that we give you every information that you need.
Yeah.
Every information to get you out there. How do I get registered? Okay, we have register drives. I can even, if you want to get on a Zoom call with me and we can go in and we can register you. I can send some of my people out for you. Giving them the stepping stones to get where they are, or even asking people,
what do you need?
People.
Yeah.
Asking people, why are they not voting?
It seems so simple, right? Like we should be asking these people why they're not voting. Because that is, Oklahoma isn't the only one with low voter turnout. Texas had record lows. Hawaii had record lows. Realistically, looking at the numbers between 2020 and 2024, both presidential elections, we're like 20 million short of how many people came out in 2020. Like a lot of people did not show up who normally do. And then, of course, we have all the people who never show up.
Well, and I think a lot of people, so kind of going back to the Oklahoma kind of just like wish-washing, a lot of people that they either don't know. So I told that story because they don't know where to go. They also don't have a firm belief that they have someone who's for them, by them, and acts like them, thinks like them, walks like them, talks like them. They don't have that. And that's all they're wanting. They're wanting someone who looks like them. They want someone who has the same struggle. So I can see the sentiment in 100%. I can see that because if I'm a Black woman and my party keeps putting out all of these people who, have different qualifications, or someone who doesn't look like me, so wouldn't understand my difficulties in life, or who wouldn't even second guess or second thought, my lived experiences. Why should I care? They're going to they're going to do what they want to do anyway. So that's my whole goal, is to show that representation is 100% on the ballot. It's about identity. It's about representation. I know that we have one of the highest maternal mortality
rates. Yeah.
I know that Black women do, but I also know that women do, period. So that's why
our country has a really rough rating compared to other West, I don't even know what first world countries, if you will, even non-first world countries. We're in bad shape as it comes to maternal death rates.
Exactly. So that's why women's healthcare is on the ballot with me.
Yeah.
That's why healthcare reform is on the ballot. That's why fair wages, because we get 49.5%, women do. We get 49.5% less on the dollar than a man does when we're getting paid. And it takes
49? No.
Yes. And it takes $28 an hour for a single mother with one child to afford a one-bedroom home, her car note, food, the formula, whatever, in order to survive. I know that ever too well. I've been through that before. And I only made $13.50 an hour when I was struggling and couldn't get food stamps.
Yeah.
And I had a baby that really needed special formula that cost $50 a can, So we are, just drifting back, because there's a lot of things when we talk about Oklahoma and just being this red or it was blue at one point in time. It's really because we just stopped showing up because we didn't have representation. And I figure, now that we're actually getting the representation and that we have someone who's actually looking out for our best interests and someone who actually has a lived experience that most Oklahomans want, that we're actually going to show up and do the damn thing. And I hope whoever's watching this realizes that it starts with us and it's going to end with us always. And we cannot make things change if it don't start with us. I get it. I know people are so politically declined right now where they're just like, you know what? They're going to do whatever they want to do. And I said that earlier. The thing is that we, the people, can change that. Let's do it. I just have to let them know that.
I love that. I was like, I can't say a word because this is going places and it's going to be beautiful. You're right. It's a statewide race. You've got 2.7 million registered voters. 1.1 million showed up last time. That means 1.65-ish million people are yours for the taking. Like, quite literally, just yours to get out, get excited. Do you have any thoughts on how to do that? I know we've got major cities, we've got rural areas, we've got farms, it's kind of again, everything and everywhere all at once.
Meeting them where they are.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm heavily on the internet. It's because our younger generation, because that's who we're relying on right now, is our younger generation. And I just want to make the disclaimer that young Democrats are from the ages of 18 to 39. That is young Democrats. Yes.
I fit in it. I love the group.
Yay. Yes. We are the young Democrats. And so with our generation, so that would be the millennial generation.
Yeah.
We need to get out.
Yeah.
No, we have some Gen Zers and they aren't even. So that's why I am. That's why I am on the internet, because the millennials are on the internet. We started.
We are the internet.
We crawled. Oh, the next generation's over could run.
We fucking learned how to code for MySpace. Every single one of us learned a little bit of it. We couldn't copy and paste this shit out of AI. We had to figure it out our fucking selves. And if you messed it up, all hell broke loose.
You literally had to go back through line by line to see where you had accidentally put a period.
Fucking a dash or oh, God, the worst.
And you had to make sure that you had your HTMLs just right. No. We were there when chat rooms opened. The people
think character building experience is what that was.
Yes. So with that being said, we are on there. So that's why I'm going as hard as I am. Get us out there to care and to get us to be as active as we need to be, because I can honestly say that I was not one to be politically active. Mm-hmm. And I still sometimes have no idea what I'm doing. And when I say I don't know what I'm doing, it's just because there's no guidebook on this. There's no book, but there is a moral compass to being a good person.
Snaps. That's beautiful. We are coming up on time. Can you tell everyone where they can find you and how they can donate to your campaign and even maybe get involved somehow?
Yes. So my name is N'Kiyla Jasmine Thomas, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate in Oklahoma against Mark Wayne Mullet. And you can find me at www.jasmine, Jasmine, or FOROK.com. And there you will see some links where you can donate to my Act Blue. Also on any social media, major social media, I am NkiylaforOK, NkiylaforOK. And also, you can donate by check, cash to any, and this is for maybe some Oklahomans that may be watching this. You can go to any bank first and you can have them deposit it into NkiylaforOK, and they will absolutely 100% do it.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. How convenient.
Yes,
So smart.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I've had many people go out and do that. I am small and grassroots, so that means that I do not take any tax. So grassroots means that I'm by the community, for the community, by the community, and I work solely for the community. And I just want to say, for anyone that's also asking, I think this is a great time to say this, is that but I'm pro-Palestine. So with that being, I'm all for humanity. So if you would like to donate, please donate, because the funding is crucial. And also, we need to take our government back. So let's let it be one marginalized person at a time.
Let's fucking go. Okay, so before I let you go, we always wrap up with 10 random rapid fire questions.
Okay.
All right. So these are just random. And I'm sorry if some of them are weird. They're auto-generated. Do you still make wishes when you blow out your birthday candles?
I sure do. I'm actually an optimist as well. So when you found me, I was like, oh my God, this is for me, because I'm an optimist.
This is so I'm not an optimist. I am, but I'm like a realist with an idealist rising. Like I very much the full quote of this podcast is from FDR. It's his first inauguration, and he says only the foolish optimist would disregard the realities of our situation. It's a Great Depression.
Logical optimist.
That's how I feel the same way. Like I firmly believe good things happen, and especially if you look at it and you say, hey, this is what I can do to make something better. And it's exactly what you're doing running for office. Yeah. Are you a morning person or an evening person?
Ooh. In the words of Taylor Swift, midnights become my afternoons at this point.
Ooh.
So I work diligently at night, but I'm still a morning person. So I don't, but I guess midnights would be considered the morning. So let's just say the morning.
Early, middle of the night morning person. What is the last book that you read from cover to cover? Or listened to? It doesn't have to be a read.
Okay. So I think the last book that I revisited the book, Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. Number the Stars by Lois Lowry.
I've never read that book.
It's a good book, actually, about the Nazi regime. It's actually supposed to be a children's book, and but it's nonfiction. I don't know. It's a good
historical fiction. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, and
I love historical fiction.
You should definitely read it. Like, you would cry. It's incredible. You really remember with that one.
Oh boy! When you're trying to communicate with people, do you text more or do you pick up the phone call?
I pick up the phone. I'm a millennial. I even pick it up after 9 still. It's a habit.
I'm 5 years older than you, and the amount of people that I call on a day-to-day basis that just will not pick up the phone, I'm like, we have a scheduled call. This isn't random. This is coming. I've even given you my phone number, so you recognize the number, and he's still not picking up my call. Crazy.
I know. I think communication when you're talking to someone is more effective because you can actually tell emotion through your voice.
Yes. Yes.
I have to pick up the phone. I don't like to get anything misconstrued whatsoever.
I mean, so I've been in sales for so long that like I pick up the phone, we have the phone conversation. While we're on the phone, I'm writing notes down and then I send an email with a recap of the phone conversation.
I'm organized. Oh, you
People,
are.
well, because people, and salespeople are like, that's not what I said. Sure, it is. Fuck it. I did. It is. And I sent you an email and you agree. You said, you know what? Read over that email and that's exactly what went down. Yeah. So
I
maybe it's
learned that the hard way. I didn't do it. I did it for when I'm fighting the big battles, but when it comes to the small things, it's like you still have to be proactive, even with the small things too. So
all the time. Every time 16-year career in sales, and the little things will get you. So it's, always good. Do you prefer hot weather or cold weather?
cold.
No, crazy. Is it really cold in Oklahoma? I've never been to Oklahoma.
No. I mean, no.
It's like, can it get really cold in the winter?
Yeah, it's decent, but the heat gets hot. Like there's dry weather, and so that dryness is just
It's like
it's
exhausting.
yeah, it's very exhausting. So I would much rather be somewhere where I can bundle up because the outfits are so cute.
See, I'm the opposite. I mean, I do love the winter because all you need is a really nice coat, and then you can like bamboozle people into thinking you're super stylish because you're just like outside and you got like a cute little hat. But then you get inside and you're like, I'm just in sweatpants.
Well, I can do that because in the words of Cardi B, "His hoes don't get cold," so I can still wear it cold and be good. You hear me?
I'm so excited for a new generation of people to run our country. It's just going to be so much more enjoyable. Maybe it's just because I'll actually like get the references that people make because we're all the same age. But I just feel like we're gonna have so much more fun, and everyone's gonna live a better life. If you had to pick one superpower, what would it be? It's a tough one. I know it's not really a rapid fire question, but
Oh, that one's hard. It would be to. If I could pick one thing that I could do, it would be to change people's minds, to open it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I wouldn't
it's
want
like a little bit of like a Professor X situation, but also, I don't know if you've seen the X-Men. He can like read people's minds, but he can't really open them. But he can like, I don't know. I see what you're getting there. I like it.
No, that was an interesting one because I would like to at least and be not manipulative because that's how some people get their minds changed easily. It's like manipulating them or fear mongering them. But what I want to do is I just want to just easily
just make them curious.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Last question. What is your favorite thing about Oklahoma?
The red dirt. I really love that. I love that our dirt is clay and it's malleable. And that makes me, it kind of puts this perspective in my head that with clay being malleable, you can form it, you can throw it, you can make beautiful things out of it, or you can just throw it back on the ground. It just lets me know that Oklahomans, I can correlate them together because we are malleable and we can, be made into something beautiful, or we can just throw ourselves back on the dirt and, not even be touted with again. But I think that the red dirt is one thing that I really love because I can put that analogy in with it.
Well, that's fucking beautiful. And that's exactly where we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful.
And just remember that, give me my money. Just give me my money. That's all I need them to do when I get there. I just need them to run me the federal funding. Give the federal funding back.
Amazing. Amazing.
We've been talking about, the references. So
yeah, exactly. Like, just give me the fucking money.
So thank you so much, Amy, for having me.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Thank you for following The Foolish Optimist. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, pretty much. We're going to be dropping new episodes every Wednesday, and you can watch the video episodes on YouTube. If you would like to, please give us a review, leave comments. You can also email us at thefoolishoptimistpodcast@gmail.com. If you see any really great candidates that I should be talking to, send them my way.